Daren, in all the years, like, should this right now be an NFT?
We've never talked to each other.
We would not like this, not in a panel, or whatever. Like we have, but like in the sports business coverage realm, like you and I, like, are you the Tyrannosaurus Rex and I'm the something else? But we've been doing this longer than anybody.
You were first. You beat me by a couple years. I remember I think I read the book. What was it? The Mulligan's Guide to Sports Careers in like 1998. And they had a chapter on being a sports business reporter and how that could be the next big thing. And I had all these plans and you were quoted in it. And I was like, oh my God, I hope this isn't a best-selling book. This is going to destroy my plans. I guess luckily it didn't sell that well.
Amazingly, though, even though the industry has matured, and we're talking now, when we talk sports business, you're talking finance, real estate, media, technology. Still, others aren't jumping in, but hey, Ken, thanks for joining us, bud.
Hey, guys.
There he is.
Yeah, amazingly, though, who would have thought that we'd be talking blockchain and collectibles? You tell me, Daren, because you're into this stuff. You always have been. What do you think people should be discussing right now? Have that discussion with Ken, and I'm going to chime in. Or I'll do it with you if it's just us.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think people should be discussing everything. They shouldn't be dismissing anything. You guys have had to cover NFTs. I've had to cover NFTs. I've had, as someone who has a massive physical collection, and as someone who likes to be all over the place, so I'm diversified, I had to take a serious look into NFTs. And I would say my collection overall is probably around 5% digital, up from 0% about a month and a half ago. So, just in the effort to be diversified, obviously not just, having a blind eye to what you collect in or to keep out technology. I think for me, it's been just as reporting has been an experience as a collector as well.
What was the first digital you bought and why?
I bought a horse.
Tell me more, please.
I bought a digital horse.
Okay.
On Zed Run.
Okay. Do athletes get it, or are they just rushing into things? We're seeing something new every day.
Listen, I think the through line needs to happen. I think someone said earlier, it has to be a story. The idea that Pete Alonso comes up with an NFT and then is having Tommy Wilson, a Met minor leaguer, design that, and then he's giving money back to minor leaguers who don't make it. That's a story. That's a thought. That's a through line, not something that could just be a cash grab. Now, does Gronk really care if there's a cash grab? I don't know. I don't think so. And then I think the question, Scott, is if NFTs don't work out in the sports world, then it is just a cash grab.
You guys hear me?
I hear you, Ken. I don't see you.
Okay, here we go. Finally.
Okay, there he is. Yeah, finish up. You said when and if NFTs don't work out.
Listen, you can't blame all the athletes, but I do think that there is a brand consideration that athletes have to think about, right? I mean, they have to think about like, oh, I have a relationship with a fan and this fan now thinks it's a cash grab and he doesn't like what he bought. I think the athletes have to think about that. It's not just there's no brand considerations at all and let me run away with my money.
Right. Ken, you and I have talked for years, and we have a tradition where I email or text you after the last out of the World Series, and I say, how much is that ball worth? Because invariably, whoever makes the final out shoves it in the back of his pocket, right? And then baseball, they slap the hologram authentication, which is like so 2015, right? So where are we in the collectibles world? Take your swig, don't choke. Where are we in the collectibles world? There's no way. Don't tell me you saw this coming, but you're happy to be here.
I mean, I'm shocked. I mean, it's been unbelievable 2 years. I kept expecting it to end. I mean, literally, if you look at Goldin auctions, literally just as a small look into the marketplace, I was thrilled in 2019. I hired a bunch of people. We got up to 18 employees, and we did 27 million. 2020, we did 100 million with like 23 employees. They tell me that I'll have 80 employees by the end of July. And today is March 31st. And I've got, Chernin Group should hold their ears, but I've got 120 million in sales through today, with an auction ending this weekend. So it's, the good news is my business was very scalable, but it's kind of like the entire world suddenly woke up and say, wow, what this guy's been doing since he was 12 years old is suddenly cool. Everybody suddenly wants to do it. Athletes are into it, entertainers are into it, news reporters want to talk about it all the time. And, I think it's great, but no, I don't think I or anybody else could have seen this coming.
Is this pandemic driven, and both of you can chime in, is it pandemic driven in that, one, people were bored and they're looking for something else to do, and two, there is quite a bit of money sloshing around the system and they're just looking for a different asset class?
I mean, I'll go first. I think it is pandemic turbocharged. I don't think it's driven. We saw a big escalation in the second half of 2019 and in the first quarter of 2020, prior to any of the lockdowns or things like that. Since then, it's got a life of its own. However, I keep waiting as the new things happen, as the country opens up, as the vaccine. I thought in December when they announced the vaccine, I thought, okay, well, my business is going to slow down dramatically. And actually in November when they announced it's coming out, it hasn't. It's accelerated, and it constantly accelerates as more people are learning about it and more people across the world. 2 years from now, I think the quote unquote mania, will be off the table. I think right now that it's kind of a manic state where people have had to buy something and they constantly have to buy. And there's so much money being pumped in the economy, and, there's so many different type of stimulus. But I think that as a long-term, both as a collectible and as an alternate investment class, it's here to stay. And where it will plateau and where the new floor will be and where the new level of demand will be, we'll see over the next 6 months to 24 months. But I think that, the old days, of the 90s and early 2000s and 2010s up through 2020, of evaluating things, that's completely off the table.
Daren, are you constantly recalibrating because of all those things?
Yeah, I mean, I actually think it's more pandemic related than Ken gives credit to, just because I think, as we've seen with sports betting, as we've seen with everything, crypto, you're now betting 24/7. You wake up, you lost $8,000. You go to sleep, whatever it is. If I were to tell you a year ago that sports betting would be the tamest thing going, you'd be like, no way. But guess what? It is. And I think that not only did you have people looking into their basements and their parents cleaning out the basements, and you also had, when every day is Groundhog Day, you search to go back to a time where you felt good. And that drives nostalgia. And then finally, whether it's bidding on eBay or bidding on at Goldin auctions, there is a dopamine to that is not only addictive, but in these times is necessary. So I give a lot of credit to this kind of being pandemic related, and you can just add up all those factors.
I love tuning in when you're on whatever platform, Picket, opening up cards and things. Did you bring some of your stuff today?
I have some of my stuff. It depends on what you want to see. Ken, you're not wearing.
Pick your favorites, my man. Pick your favorites.
So like, obviously by
the way, it does not get any better than this, that we have this. Here we are in this forum discussing collectibles. I have you, Ken. Here's
I'll let
Daren
go first.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you brought some too?
Oh, Ken. All right. So Ken's stuff will be different from mine, but this is all about what you love. So I love collecting tickets. So, I have, let's see if we get this,
a little lower. There you go.
So this is the 8th of 8 for Michael Phelps in Beijing, signed by Phelps, 8 of 8. You have.
I was there.
I was there, and it was great. You were there. This is the ticket from the date the GOAT showed up at Wrigley Field in the Game 4 of the 1945 World Series.
Is that more or less valuable after they win the World Series? Are you rooting for the Cubs, or does that hurt that value?
That's a good question. I bought it after the World Series.
Okay.
Another ticket we got is the this is the best conditioned Jesse Owens becomes the fastest man in the world in front of Hitler ticket. So tickets are good, as Ken knows. Ken, I'll put out something that I got from Ken, which is, Ken and I always have our back and forths about cards versus memorabilia, and Ken believes in both. But I did get this from Ken's auction. It's Kobe's credential to the 2008 games. And, you can argue with me all day long about whether a Kobe Bryant rookie should be $100,000. But if that is $100,000, the going back to memorabilia, what is this? So, that I'm on memorabilia. I've kind of gotten out of cards, and people can enjoy what they want. But I think memorabilia is clearly still very undervalued to me in all of this.
All right, Ken, what do you got?
Okay, so first of all, I do both. I historically have done more memorabilia, typically more game used. And I personally, one thing I always hear, how is LeBron James card with a little tiny piece of fabric that wasn't actually worn in a game, worth $2 million, and you sold his photo matched rookie jersey, the earliest known jersey, for like $400,000? How does that even correlate? Or Michael Jordan with a game used swatch on it from 1998 for $200,000, and you sold the last jersey he ever wore in his professional career for $500,000, and you get the whole jersey. So let me show a couple cards. This is cool because I've got about 9 million in my hands right here. Now these are not mine. This is here we go. This is the Tom Brady championship ticket. This is something none of you have probably ever seen, which is one ungraded out of the 100. This will probably be, hopefully, a 9. We'll see. This is the same ticket graded in an 8.5. And this is certainly the holy grail when I grew up, what everybody wanted. This is a Tetro 6 Honus Wagner. And the story, of course, is you see the advertisement on the back, Sweet Caporal cigarettes. And the legend is that Wagner did not want to promote chewing tobacco. Now, this is actually a 2. Which, even though the card may not look like it's an amazing shape, there are only 6 cards in the world with a higher grade than that. That one will probably go for between 4 or 7. Now, behind me is my home office. Some of the cards I collect are actually really the old vintage. I don't want to move this. It took me a while to set it up, but you've got a cabinet card of Ty Cobb, a cabinet card of Honus Wagner. You've got McGuire cleats from 1998, which is my favorite baseball season of all time. So I don't care what those guys did. I have a lot of Soshnick from 1998.
Just hit as many home runs as you can and make it special.
Exactly. I've got a Phillies World Series trophy, some unopened wax, and some wax open with Paul. But this is what I personally collect. I don't want to take this out. I actually was going to wear one of these, but I thought I don't want people to think I'm wearing something consigner's items. So this, I'll just show it. This, without taking out a plastic, that is a hat worn by Babe Ruth, circa 1928. This,
a little disappointed there isn't a mustard stain on it.
You should have worn that hat.
Yeah, I should have done a David Wells. This is something I know Daren has not seen this. Probably most people haven't. So this is Jim Breitweiser's bat from 1951 Yankees. Okay. However, there was a rookie that was called up that day, and he needed a bat. So right there, if you could see it.
Yeah, Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. So this is a rookie signature of Mickey Mantle because it's a game-used bat that Mickey Mantle used during his rookie season in 1951 to go along the Yankee theme. It's mine. I can take it out and touch it, right? You got time for this?
This is interesting.
We got about 2 minutes because I want to ask you. We're going to get to Francis Ngannou and what you think the value of his stuff is worth.
Okay, here we go. That is Babe Ruth from his
George Herman Ruth, yes.
Season. There's about $1 million right here. So these are the types of things, and I've got hangout jerseys behind me, which I won't pull out. But I always think that historical game use stuff, to me, look, I like the cards. I like looking at the cards. But to me, some of the game use stuff, especially the historical that capture moments in time, is priceless.
You got to love this, Daren. Yeah, what were you going to say?
No, you're talking about Ngannou's actual garb for his win over Stipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. The question for some of these athletes is, I think more and more athletes are going to keep their own things. Now the teams allow you to buy your own jerseys, and I think it's a lot of people have talked about that. You could, there's more jerseys around. They're not doing, but athletes could buy their jerseys for every single game. Emmitt Smith collected every single touchdown ball. I think athletes
he walked up with every football.
Yeah, I think that athletes are not only to be more aware of everything that they do, but they're going to be invested more. They're going to be doing their own stuff. So I think athletes are definitely more aware of their memorabilia.
Okay, I had about 50 more questions and needed about another 75 minutes. But gentlemen, as you can see, Markel Martin from CAA, Jacob Feldman is already on the screen, and Francis Ngannou should be joining any minute. And there he is. So I'm going to get out of here. We're going to turn this over to Jacob. Gentlemen, thanks so much. And that is quite a collection. I mean, that's the way to do this. Spinning around in chairs and oh, here's Babe Ruth. Oh, here. That's the way to do it. Thanks so much, gentlemen.